to love God more. It could be about being in a small group. I know we have a couple small groups. Or it could be being more committed to coming to Monday school. The bottom line of the question is, I cannot answer this for you. And this is the question. What will help you fall more deeply in love with God? What in your life will help you fall more deeply in love with God? What can we do? What can you do to fall more deeply in love with God? More in love with God tomorrow than you are today. More in love with God in a week from now than you are today. I can't answer that for you. You have to answer that for yourself. You know, it can, you know, and coming to worship is a huge aspect of that. Because it's a time that we come and corporately praise God for what He's doing in our lives, and how He's working, and how He's healing, and how He's forgiving. You know, I heard somebody say last couple of weeks, every single human being that ever lived deserves hell. Deserves hell. Every single human being that ever lived deserves the fire pits of hell. It is by God's grace that many won't. That should enact our worship and our love towards God. Because when we're counted as one of the many, that should really make our hearts sing and worship the Creator of the universe, shouldn't it? First, we are to love God. The second is we are to live His Word. We need to be doing it every single day. And I know, if I took a survey, I would say 80 to 90% of the people in here struggle with a daily quiet time with God. Am I right? Absolutely. We all struggle with it. But the thing is, to live His Word, we have to be in it. We can't live His Word and not be in it. Does that make sense? If we were to pass that on to our children, or pass that on to our grandchildren, or pass it on to nieces and nephews, or children that's in our lives, or just being wise decision makers in our own lives, it has to involve living His Word, and we have to be in it. And that's the ironic thing. We all struggle in it. It's kind of what the summer cool was, to kind of spur on some of that getting into God's Word habit. And if you struggle in this, I'm just going to give you a real simple plan of action. Start in the book of Proverbs, just like we did during the summer cool. Start with the book of Proverbs. One proverb every day. Guess what? You'll be done with the whole book in a month. Think about it. Think about it. And you know, if it's kind of difficult, you don't have to read the whole chapter. Just, read and just meditate. Kind of go back to Psalm 119 and say, meditate on what you've read. Kind of chew on it. Pray about it. Get into it. I told you this was kind of like a in-your-face type sermon. Think about if you apply what God's Word in your life. If you apply what you read. If you apply it. What is your life going to look like? Think about that. And then soon, as you develop this habit, you'll be more hungry for more. You'll be more hungry and more hungry. And what does Jesus say? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Part of hungering and thirst for righteousness is getting into God's Word, so that we can live His Word. So we are to love God. We are to live His Word. And we are to teach our children to do the same. The thing is, if you're doing the first two, this comes extremely naturally. This becomes, it's an easy jump to this. The two hard jumps, the two hard steps is loving God and living His Word. This is like a baby step. Because if we're really doing that, we'll be naturally teaching our children. We'll be naturally teaching the people around us. We'll be naturally looking at God's Word and making decisions based on what God is doing in our lives. The first two will affect every area of your life. No matter who you are, no matter what station in life you're at. And it's about breaking down the walls, breaking down those barriers, that the gospel of Jesus Christ penetrates every aspect of our lives. That's what it's about. Love God, live His Word,